Okay, today we're going to be talking about mentorship, who, what, when, where, and why. I am Amy. I am one of the members of Thee Loc Chix, and we're waiting on the other ladies to join in, which I don't know how to do. Hold on. Okay. Define what a mentorship, what a mentor is versus hello.
Hello.
Okay, y'all. I'm trying to get everybody out because I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. So, as I was saying, we're going to be talking about mentorship, who needs to be mentored, and why. Hello, Kita.
Hey.
We are the Loc Chicks. Again, I am Amy from Mobile, Alabama, and y'all can introduce
I'm
yourselves.
I'm Shakita from North Carolina.
I'm Mahogany from Montgomery, Alabama.
So, coaching versus mentor. Y'all want to start with that?
Yeah, because you brought up a point that you think is different. So, and
What?
most people use them
Okay,
interchangeably. So,
right.
you say what you think.
Because the terms
Yeah.
are used interchangeably. But when I was coming up, a mentor was somebody that you either knew or say they were like a professor and, you wanted to be mentored by them. You would even, go up to them and ask them to mentor you. It was that type of thing.
Someone that
Um,
just poured into you.
right. Someone that was important to you, their lifestyle. It could be religious reasons, whatever. Um, so, and you would ask them to mentor. And it also with mentor, there's no funding, like you don't pay a mentor basically back then. But today, everyone, people are calling a mentor. They're saying, "Oh, I'm a mentor." But to me, when I hear that and I see there's an exchange of funds or a contract, then to me that says that that's a coach. That's someone coaching you. And most of the time, it's going to be a group of you. So I do want to read this, what it says, coach versus mentor. A coach focuses on improving current performance and helping individuals achieve. Can y'all still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Helping individuals achieve specific goals, often with a structured, time-bound approach. A mentor, on the other hand, provides long-term guidance and support, sharing knowledge and experience to foster development and career growth. So there are some key differences, but again, for the sake of this, our live, we'll just use them
So, can you say
as the
the
same.
first one? Can you say the first one more time?
What first
The
one?
coach again?
What the coach
Because I'm just,
does? The
yeah.
coach focuses on improving current performance and helping individuals achieve specific goals, often with a structured, time-bound approach. So,
Okay.
typically
And then the mentor, it brought in the, um,
long-term.
where we're saying career and all of that stuff. So I mean, I guess they kind of
They kind of do. I think
mesh
to
together.
me, and also when you mentor somebody, it's like, to me, it's a one-on-one. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
you're kind of one-on-one mentoring somebody because then it's kind of personal.
Right.
So,
That's
but with
true.
the coach, you're coaching a group of people, or you may coach one person to learn this technique, or there's an end goal. So at the end of this coaching process, you are expected to learn this, or I expect to receive this type of information from you,
Right.
as a coach, because I'm paying you for your services.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where the differences come in. Whereas with a mentor, you're kind of just sitting there, you're learning from them. You're receiving all their information, and it can be a two-way street.
You feel like it's
They can
more
also learn from you.
informal, or more of an informal thing, mentorship.
To me, that's what a mentorship is. That's
Okay.
the key difference. But for this and for our life, we will use them interchangeably. So if we say mentor, we mean coach. If we say coach, we mean mentor. So
Yeah.
okay. So who do you think? We're going to talk about who needs a mentor and why.
Okay. Well, I'll go first. I think, are we talking about as far as entrepreneurship goes, like as far as business or?
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Everything we're talking about is going to be as far as business, and it can be specific to locks because that's what we're doing.
Okay.
So
Hi,
yeah, it can be.
Tanya.
I would say everyone needs a mentor, especially if you're in the beginning phases of your business, entrepreneurship, just for guidance,
Yeah.
because you're just starting out, you don't know everything. You need assistance, you need wisdom, and you need some, just some direction. So I would say everyone needs a mentor.
I would agree with that. I think that you have to sit back and look at what you need in your business and what you feel like you're lacking in. So, like, say for instance, if you took the Sister Lots class
Hmm.
and you came out and you feel like you don't know what you're doing, a lot of
And
people
you're
come out feeling like they need
not.
hands. Right. You need hands on when you come out. You're not going to come out, knowing exactly what to do. So you're going to need somebody to kind of guide you, somebody that's already been through it, has got the experience, so that you can watch them and they can help you grow. Also, even coming out of like cosmetology
College
school
food.
or anything like
Mhm.
that, you need to be around other people that know what they're doing, because it's it's different from being in class and then doing something in the real world, I feel.
Right. So yeah, because I can speak on both ends. I've been to cosmetology school and I've also taken the sister lots class. So coming out of cosmetology school, um, I didn't know anything. And actually, my now friend whose salon that I work in, Curlington Salon in Mobile, she actually told me to go to she suggested that I go to cosmetology school one day. We were talking. She had actually done my hair for the first time, my first time meeting her. And I started off doing braid downs for her. And then after that, she was like, you should go to cosmetology school. And because I've been doing my hair, natural hair, forever. And so I did have a love for it, but just not the desire to actually do hair. And so I did it, but then coming out of it, it was like, okay, now what do I do? Because you have zero clients. So at that point, unless you know somebody, you're gonna have to, you need to go into a salon and you need to be mentored if that's something that you really really want to pursue and be um and excel in. You need to be under somebody. Some people
Right.
will come in and they'll go in and go into a salon suite. Well, it's easy. You may say, well, I know how to braid already, I know how to do that, but it's more to a business than just the technique. So,
Right.
it's a lot of things. So even when I got out of cosmetology school, I had no clients. So basically I stood literally beside Shadik and watched her, just watched her, just watched her, just watched her, just looked at her, just cleaned up, you swept, did whatever needed to be done in the salon. That is what I did
Mm-hmm.
until I started getting clients. And then I decided, when I realized that braiding was not for me, because I started off as a braider. Braiding was not for me. So I took the sister lots class. And then when I got out of the sister lots class, I was like, Lord, what to do now? I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do because I did not have any clients. So I sought out a mentor, and it started from there. And let's see, we can
Well, can
go
I speak to
into,
that real
yes,
quick?
you can. Yes.
Like, I had a
Y'all jump
great
in because
mentor
I will
just
go all off in crazy land.
I had a great mentor just fall into my lap, and she was like perfect. She helped me out so much. I just told her what I wanted to do, and we hit the ground running. She helped me so much. She's like, "Yeah, take the Sister Lots class, and I will help you
Yes.
when you get out." So I was able to shadow her and just learn a lot of tips and tricks. She let me work under her. She helped me build my clientele, and
Oh, see,
she didn't ask for anything, and she just helped me so much. And Christonia, I love you. She did so much for me, and I'm so grateful for her. So when you get a good mentor,
yes,
that's keep hold on to them and try to maintain that relationship.
absolutely.
Let me say.
What about you, Mo?
Um, as far as the mentors, I've had one mentor so far, and well, I started off um taking a micro locks class here in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
Um, and Octavia Stone, she was the licensed stylist, and she taught us all day. It was like an all day class. We worked on mannequins. We worked on two women, and it was just a 1 day thing. So from 8 to 5. So afterwards, she was like, if you ever need help, you can reach out and everything like that. So she's there. But as I was starting in the micro locks, I just felt like I needed some more, guidance. And so that's when I started just my journey on looking for a mentor. And that was when I got my first mentor, and it was like a 6-month program. And it helped, especially when you're in the beginning phases and you're just starting out. I was fresh. I was like, oh gosh, I need some guidance. So that's when I started looking into getting a mentor, and I got a mentor for 6 months.
Okay. So then after that, because I know like with me, when I did get a mentor, it didn't work out. Okay. So I actually did have a Sister Locks mentor, because with Sister Locks you are going to need somebody to help you. Unless you come out and you have somebody to actually do their hair, because I went a long time before I got certified. So then I was in push mode, and so we want to also talk to people about when you get into a relationship with someone or a mentorship with someone in the shit house and it don't work out, then what do you do? If it don't work out, what do you do? Do you just stay in it, or do you move on? And my advice is to move on. That's just the type of person that I am. I'm not going to stay in something. And this relationship was actually free. I actually traveled to her, and it started off good, but then it got a little wonky. Then a client got involved, and then it really, really got wonky. And we'll talk about that. That's another topic. We'll get into our experiences, but I'll just say for our topic for tonight, if you get into a situation, how do you suggest, and you feel like, okay, I'm really not getting what I need out of this situation. Now, if it's a mentor and it's free, you could just walk away. But if it's a coach and you are paying this person, then how do you handle that? Because I have also had a paid coach, but I had a good relationship with her as well. Her name was Dana Wilson, and she coached me. A lot of stuff I already knew. A lot of stuff, we were in a group setting, and she was a Sister Locks client. She doesn't do that anymore. She's more she does her own thing now. But she helped me a lot, and I did get certified. But again, a lot of stuff I already knew, like my website, my booking site, all the business side of it. I learned that from Shanique and being in the salon with her. Like, she helped me with all of that. So that part of it I really didn't need, but it was other parts in it that she did help me with, like my technique. Because I was wondering, why is it taking me so long to get through these reties? And so, we would do lives, and she would look at my technique and she showed me, and it just went click. So coaching is a very, very good thing. You do need a coach, when you're stuck in a rut and you just feel like, okay, what is going on? I'm not hitting my marks. I'm not doing this. I'm still slow as hell. Like, what's going on? So when something like that happens, you need to get a coach, and you need to let someone sit down and look at you and see what's going on. But
I just feel
what if
like
the relationship is not good?
you shouldn't keep wasting your money if you're not getting what you need out of the situation. Like, if you're paying someone to help you, you should have a list of things or goals that you want to reach. And if that person is not helping you reach those goals, then it's time to move on. It's kind of tricky if you pay
Hey,
them up front.
mm-hmm. A
You're pretty
conversation
much
needs to be
out of,
had.
yeah,
A
you're pretty
conversation
much
needs to be
out
had.
of the money
Definitely.
unless they're willing to work with you. I don't, but yeah, you don't want to continue giving that person money if they're not helping you get where you're trying to go.
Because when you start with the person, you don't know what they're going to teach you on. I
No,
mean, they can give you the layout,
they give
but
you a
you
little
still
list.
don't
They
know.
might give you a list of things so that they may help you with.
Right.
But if you say you're not getting that, then it's time to bounce.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
because
either,
mhm.
confront them about it and say, hey, I really need this part of it. Are we going to go over that? Or,
Yeah, that's another key thing. You should be able to go to them and tell them what you
That's right.
need, and they should be able to talk to you about it, and y'all discuss, how you can get there. a roadmap for how you're going to get to where you're trying to go.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you're spending your money with a on a coach or on a mentor, and you should be able to have an honest conversation with them. If you feel like it's not working out in your favor, you should be able to have an honest conversation with them, because they're
Mm-hmm.
there to assist you in your specific needs. So you should be able
Right.
to speak up, and y'all should be able to work something out. Most of the times, you sign a contract, and like you
Right.
said, Keita, you might pay up front.
Well,
So how do you handle
you're
that
gonna pay
situation?
up front most of the time. I did,
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, you pay it all up front. And so sometimes you're sitting in, with the group and you're like, oh my God,
If
I'm
you
in a group with beginners.
paid, you don't need to keep your mouth shut. If you paid, you need to
Right.
speak up if you feel like you're not getting what you're
That's
supposed to get.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Exactly. I
Yep.
agree. So what else, y'all?
Let's see.
We kind of went over
How do you feel
everything.
like how long you should be mentored? Like, is there a time limit on how long you should stay with the mentor? I don't think there is. If you're continuing to benefit from the relationship, now you shouldn't have a mentor for 10 years and you're still paying them. But most mentors, a good mentor is going to still be available to you even after your session has ended. Like, you should still be able to kind of, like, if you need to shoot them an email or ask a question or something like that.
Yeah,
Most of
for
them will
something
still,
quick.
yeah, they'll still be available to you. You might not have the access that you had before, but then they don't just drop you in most
Yeah.
Okay.
cases.
I
Yeah.
do feel like you should have a mentor until you reach your goal. So I feel like in the beginning of your relationship with your mentor,
Hmm.
with that specific mentor. So if it's a mentor for locks, you would lay out your goals that you want to achieve. They
Mm-hmm.
help you to achieve them. Once you achieve those goals, what do you still need a mentor for in that
Right.
aspect? Now, if you
And
want
then
to
you can move on
mentor
to another type of
another
mentor.
coach or
Mm-hmm.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's different ones. So yeah, I feel like once you get where you need to be, then you're good to go,
So there was
and you'll have to get a
another
coach for
question we
everything.
had. There was
Mm-hmm.
another question we had. Is it should you have multiple mentors?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you
Yeah.
can.
hmm but they're going to be for different things.
Yeah.
So you might have one to help you scale your business. You might have one to help you with your technique. You might have one for branding and marketing. Um, so yeah,
So,
it's possible that you could have multiple.
but with that now, okay, so I would think that if I'm paying somebody $10,000+ or even $5,000, they should be able to help me pretty much with
Hands
branding. I
on.
think that's my opinion because that's a lot of money, you know, just to teach me about technique. So, that's another thing you need to know what they're bringing to the table, because you just can't look at someone on social media and say, "Ooh, she has what I have," or you definitely can't go by the followers and say, "Well, she has a lot of followers, she must know what she's talking about." And then you get into her program, because I know I've taken, just to bring it down to a smaller level, I've taken classes like a braid class, and this person was very, very popular, did excellent work. But then when you get in her class, it is joke city. She clowning around, she playing, she got her minions, her friends, they all in there laughing and playing. And I'm like, wait a minute, lady, I
Yeah,
just paid
those
you the
type of
money.
situations annoy me
You
too.
need
Like,
to stop playing,
if I paid you, we need to get the business so I can get the most out of what
Exactly.
I paid for. Yeah.
So that's something you need to do your due diligence when it comes to seeking a mentor. Make sure, or the only way I know to do that is to kind of, maybe, if you can find someone that knew that person, or most of the time you're going to be offered these services at seminars, and just say you go to a seminar and they're going to be people there and they're going to be like, hey, you want to be my mentee, or I offer these classes. And that's typically how you would find a mentor that way, because you go to
Yeah.
classes or seminars, they're going to be offering those type of services.
But
So
don't let them pressure you, like, especially if you don't feel like you can afford the price that they're pushing on you. If you can't afford it, don't do it. But if you
Right.
can afford it and you feel like you're going to get something out of it, that's fine. But don't go broke trying to get a bunch of mentors, coaches.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't do that anyway,
Yeah,
but
but
we
yeah, I'm
know
just saying
people.
some people will,
We
but you
know
know,
people
people
that.
pressure people. People pressure people into doing things, and people fold and like, oh, I got to do this, and you know, they'll go
Yeah.
broke trying to keep up with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing too is, mentorship is good, coaching is good, but also being a part of a community. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of
Yeah,
like minded,
Mo.
yeah,
That's
like
good.
minded people that y'all can
Like the
kind of
Loc
feed off
Chix.
of each
Like the
like the
Chix,
lot
right?
that y'all can kind of feed off each other. But like you said, Keita, you should still have access to your coach. You should still be able to reach out to them and they should be accessible. But it is important to have community. Most of the mentors and coaches will kind of build a community where you can reach out to each other. But it's good. It's good to have community. It's plenty of groups, like Facebook groups and stuff like that. In the beginning, before I
Mm-hmm.
even got a mentor, I joined a lot of the lock groups on Facebook. Because I didn't know anyone. I didn't really know any locticians, but the person who was doing my hair,
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, community is very important.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
I
now,
agree.
as a loctician, do y'all still go into the groups? I know I don't. I never go into the groups.
I
No, not
haven't
anymore.
lately.
It's a lot of misinformation going on in those groups, so I kind of
Mm,
stay out
It's
of them.
so
Yeah,
much craziness going on in those
conflicting
groups. Yeah.
information, so I kind of stay out of it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm so busy
It's
doing hair, I don't have time to be in
mm,
groups.
mm, mm,
Okay. Yeah, we are pretty busy. We are pretty
Mm-hmm.
busy.
Yep.
So, is there any other points that we need to go over? I think we kind
I
of went
think
over
that's good.
everything.
Yep. Just I feel like if you looking for, you feel like you need a mentor, you straight out of the Sister Lock course or any other course, just make a list of the things that of goals that you need to reach and see if you can find someone that meets those needs, will help you get to those goals. Yeah.
Yep. Any final words?
um, just feeding off what Keita just said. Definitely be intentional, make a list of what you need and just research. Just
Right.
research. Social media is not enough. I mean, just try your best to research. Like Amy said, if you do know someone who knows that person or about that person, maybe talk with them.
Mm-hmm.
Go to their site, and try to look up their values, and what they're about, their mission statement, just stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
to see if you're a good fit and a good match, if y'all values kind of line up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and take your time. Don't rush into. You don't have to rush into finding somebody just because you saw them on Instagram. Just take your time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we thank everybody for joining in. We're gonna try to do this once a month now, to just kind of stay in touch with um the lot group or whatever. And so thank you all for tuning in. And we'll catch
Thank
y'all
you.
on the next live.
See y'all next
Bye.